limit on the?
Spectators? No.
What's that? I'm doing well. How are you, man? Good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Call to order at 5:39. Pursuant to Section 84-1412 of the Nebraska statute, the public is hereby informed that a current copy of the Nebraska Open Meeting Act is on the north wall. Roll call.
Snipe.
Here.
Snow. Here. Smith.
Here.
3 present.
New and miscellaneous business. D1 is action item. This is an American Civics Committee presentation. Rationale: in March of 2019, the Nebraska State Legislature revised and signed into law Legislative Bill 399. This bill amends sections 79-724 and 79-727 of the revised statutes of Nebraska and is focused on ensuring that youth are given the opportunity to become competent, responsible, patriotic, and civil citizens. A provision of LB 399 renames the Americanism Committee to the American Civics Committee. The second meeting of this committee will take place on Monday, March 16th. The meeting will highlight the social studies standards adopted by the Nebraska State Board of Education in November of 2019 and update the committee on the OPS standards revisions process. Additionally, this meeting will continue to demonstrate how OPS is a leader for social studies education and share our vision for the LB 399 provisions. Will have a positive impact on our students, teachers, and community.
All right. Good evening. Thank you for attending our second meeting of the American Civics Committee. My name is Lindsay Beanie, and I'm the Secondary Social Studies Teaching and Learning Consultant for OPS.
And I'm Tiffany LaFrance, the Elementary Teaching and Learning Consultant for Social Studies.
This committee meets twice a year as designated by LB 399. The purpose of this committee is to ensure our youth are given the opportunity to become competent, responsible, patriotic, and civil citizens. Oh, thank you.
You're fine. Teamwork.
Oh, hold on. We lost it. Oh, technical difficulty.
Clicker should work.
The clicker works, just not on there.
I think you're in the PowerPoint, not in the presentation. Try clicking.
There we go. Thank you. So the purpose of this committee is to ensure our youth are given the opportunity to become competent, responsible, patriotic, and civil citizens. Additionally, this committee will allow OPS to ensure compliance with the provisions of LB 399. When we met in the fall, we shared the provisions embedded within LB 399, and tonight we will provide an update on how OPS is meeting the provisions of that law. We will also inform you of the new Nebraska Social Studies standards and what these 2019 standards mean for our students, our teachers, and our community. With your recommendation, our next step will be to meet with the full board on April 6th for approval of the 2019 Nebraska Social Studies standards. First, an update on the provisions of LB 399.
This year, we have focused on implementing the provisions of LB 399. Through ongoing efforts, CIS has provided all K-12 social studies teachers and school leaders with lesson plans and resources to cover key people, events, and holidays as identified in LB 399. Grade-level formative assessments have been developed and implemented at the district level. Cross-curricular implementation is in progress with special areas at the elementary level.
Additionally, LB 399 designates this committee to ensure that the social studies curriculum in the district incorporates a state assessment to be given prior to a student leaving 8th grade and again prior to a student leaving 12th grade. Of the options provided for the state assessment, Option 3, requiring students to complete a paper or project and a class presentation on a person, persons, or event listed in subsection 6 of Section 1, is the option OPS is already on track with. Curriculum-based assessments and required semester projects completed in grades 8, 9, and 12 assess students over the Constitution, Abraham Lincoln, and Martin Luther King Jr. These assessments are rigorous and are in line with our best instructional practices.
On November 8, 2019, the Nebraska Department of Education adopted new K-12 social studies standards. The standards underwent 3 revisions based on public feedback before a final vote. The revised standards emphasize learning in civics, geography, history, and economics from multiple perspectives. The standards incorporate college, career, and civic readiness.
Considerations that went into the revision of the 2012 Nebraska Social Studies standards and were adopted for the 2019 standards by the Nebraska Department of Education include standards that are more focused and provide a greater depth of knowledge. Skills to help students prepare for college, career, and civic life are embedded within the standards. Grade level standards for 6th, 7th, and 8th grades are now specific for each grade level. These newly unbanded standards align with OPS courses and curriculum already in place at our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade levels. Intentional integration of provisions of LB 399 are embedded within elementary and secondary 2019 standards. While many of these provisions are already in our curriculum, having them embedded increases the intentionality with how they are met. After the adoption of the 2019 standards by the Nebraska Department of Education, OPS standards teams convened to complete a crosswalk of the 2012 to 2019 standards. Both elementary and secondary reviewers were in support of the 2019 Nebraska Social Studies standards. This support represents all grade levels and disciplines, along with library services, dual language, the Office of Equity and Diversity, and the NICE program. Reviewers also identified areas where curriculum and resource updates will be needed due to expanded standards, depth of knowledge, and the emphasis on multiple perspectives and inquiry. We are working to align our curriculum development cycle to the Nebraska State Standards adoption cycle. This will ensure the continuation of guaranteed and viable curriculum in social studies. Part of this alignment is exploring open education resources. We are reaching out to other districts utilizing OER to see how that might look in OPS social studies. We feel confident that with updated standards, curriculum, and resources, teachers will be more aware of the significance and intentionality with how we deliver social studies instruction. What do the 2019 Nebraska Social Studies standards mean for our students? It allows us the opportunity to emphasize how social studies impacts their lives. As represented in the OPS Portrait of a Graduate, the 2019 Nebraska Social Studies standards provide opportunities for students to think civically and participate in dialogue regarding diverse issues. They also require students to think critically about our past, present, and future. The 2019 Nebraska Social Studies Standards also promote early literacy, college and career readiness, and positive school culture. Our students deserve to have a social studies education that is not just names, dates, and facts. We want our students to understand the past, connect to the present, and engage in the future.
Apparently, we're doing really great with technology today. There we go. So how will this look different from what we are currently doing? For our teachers, the 2019 Nebraska Social Studies Standards emphasize inquiry in the classroom to better engage our students in the learning process. We will see teachers facilitating group work where students will be collaborating and exploring essential questions and key ideas. We will hear powerful discussions using higher level thinking and application to the real world. We will feel a sense of community by focusing on fostering collaboration and communication amongst teachers by infusing social studies into other content areas and opening doors for teachers to share, learn, and grow with not just what they are teaching, but how they are teaching. For our community, the 2019 Nebraska Social Studies Standards will allow us to ensure community voice is represented in the curriculum and resources used within OPS Social Studies. The American Civics Committee meetings also allow for continued transparency with the standards adoption and alignment process. The 2019 Nebraska Social Studies Standards provide a great opportunity to move the needle and ensure our curriculum is more representative of our students, our families, and our community and the community in which we serve. It is with this information that we seek the recommendation to take the 2019 Nebraska Social Studies Standards to the OPS Board of Education on April 6, 2020. Thank you for your time.
And with that, we ask for any questions, and we will also be seeking your recommendation, asking for your recommendation at this time too, to move the standards to the full board.
Thank you. I'm assuming that the date will probably be loose. We'll be able to push
Yes,
that date
yes,
back. So
yeah.
we don't have to approve
For that specific date.
for that.
For that specific-
Okay,
right,
so we're
correct.
not rushed against the deadline, correct?
No,
Yep.
it was
Okay.
at the time that we
Makes
had the
sense.
information, April 6th was that, but obviously with things being very fluid,
Makes sense.
that date will change, but we just need that this committee has to approve, or has to send the standards to the full board with the recommendation.
Understand. My second question on that is, how many other school districts comparable to OPS have we compared their social studies standards to, or?
So Millard, Lincoln, so these are the Nebraska social studies
okay.
standards. So our counterparts in Millard and Lincoln Public Schools are both in the same process right now. Everybody completes those crosswalks between the 2012 to 2019, and then takes the standard recommendation after those crosswalks, takes the standard recommendation to this committee, and asks the committee to move it then to their full boards.
And those groups haven't come up with their standards yet,
They're-
or they're still working on this?
They're all in the same. So when we
Okay.
met, we had a Zoom meeting end of February and end of February, beginning of March, and everybody's kind of that same part of end of March, beginning of April, moving the standards to the full board. But communication from Millard and Lincoln was that the Nebraska adopted standards was what they were recommending for their standards as well.
Okay. Who's taking the lead? NDE's taking the lead on?
Yep, so NDE has already passed the standards in November 8th. So NDE
Okay.
has provided the state standards. Is now districts have an opportunity to review them. If
Add
there's any
more.
additions that we'd want to make or changes, as long as we keep the level of rigor and we can't take away any of the standards, we can only add on to the standards. But our curriculum teams really, our standards teams, really supported the updated standards because it's allowing us to take what we're doing in social studies and still keep the content knowledge the same, but allow our students to go deeper with it so that they can see how it applies to them instead of just, we have to go through things quickly because we have so much to cover. It really allows us now to get that depth of knowledge with our students and embed inquiry, embed multiple perspectives more intentionally than we had with the 2012 standards.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the new social study curriculum standards for 2019. I don't have the agenda
Yeah.
only.
So moved.
You-
Or do I move?
She would second, and then you.
Second.
Okay. And so we accept.
So, yeah, so it's open, so if anybody else has any questions or anything. Okay.
Okay, we accept the recommendation to take this.
So you do roll call.
Oh, roll call, sorry.
Snow?
Aye.
Snipe?
Aye.
Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Motion.
Motion passes to move to the full board. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Let the record reflect that the Board American Civics Committee meeting adjourned at 5:52 PM.
Thank you.
Why is that? That's it.